So, as you probably already know if you've seen my videos before, I don't think that health should be considered a political thing. And where I live here in South Korea, it's very much not a political thing. So, if there's a new study about a particular supplement or diet, there's no judgment by anyone in the public about what political leaning you might be if you, say, decide to go vegan or take creatine every day. So it's really weird to me when I keep seeing these articles in US media that continually try to politicize our health decisions. Are you vegan? Then you must be liberal. Are you trying a carnivore diet? Then you are an ultra-conservative. Are you exercising 3 times a week or more? Do you own a kettlebell? Are you taking electrolytes daily? Then you must be a conservative. Or at least that's what's heavily implied. Recently, I came across an article titled, "What's the deal with electrolyte drinks? Do you need them to stay hydrated?" On its face, the article is trying to be an objective view on what the question poses in its title. But it's actually what the article doesn't mention that shows how this article further serves to divide you, someone who cares about their health and well-being and is taking active steps to improve both, and them, the people who want to tell you how ultra-processed foods are good for you, and if you're against them, then you're or something ridiculous like that. Now, the article does have some good facts, such as how most of us are probably existing on the daily with some degree of dehydration, how US consumers spend over $10 billion a year on sports drinks, and how most anything that contains liquid will help rehydrate you. Truth. But this article is yet another jab at people who want to improve their health and leads off with a statement about electrolyte drinks. The category has expanded well beyond its athlete niche into wellness products for daily living, industry analysts say. And now scores of online influencers promote the products, making big claims about their benefits. Citation needed. If you've been following any of these influencers that they're probably talking about, but we don't know because they didn't mention anyone in specific, you can sort of tell this article is going to be a hot take on LMNT, an electrolyte powder that I have no affiliation with, I've never tried, but I know that it sponsors a ton of YouTubers and health podcasters lately. So the idea here is that this article is going to save you from wasting your money on something that you don't need, electrolytes. But by the time you finish the article, you'll learn that you do need electrolytes. Hear me out. The article tries to tell us that we won't benefit from electrolyte drinks because we aren't athletes. Athletes and people who are in the sun sweating for a prolonged period of time, the article argues, can benefit from electrolyte drinks. So is the problem here that we, you and me, the average consumer they're appealing to, don't need electrolytes? Or is the problem that we, you, me, the average consumer, are not exercising as much as we probably should? If you've ever read Born to Run, which I highly recommend, it's a great book, or watch any videos about the anatomy of the human foot or physiology of humans, you'll learn that our feet are built for running and our bodies are optimized to do something that a lot of other animals can't do. Sure, we're not the fastest, we don't have claws or sharp teeth, but we, Homo sapiens, can do something remarkable. We can run for extremely long distances for prolonged periods of time. Most other animals that are fast, like a cheetah, can run extremely quickly for a short period of time, but they tire out easily and need rest. On the other hand, we can run and run and run and run. So much so that some tribes today still practice persistent hunting, in which hunters target a deer and just keep chasing after it for miles and miles until it collapses out of exhaustion. Don't worry, I'm going to bring this back to electrolytes. One of the key adaptations that allows us to run so far is our ability to sweat. I remember in 3rd grade, my teacher told us how cats and dogs don't sweat. And for most of my life, I 100% believed that. I thought that they just didn't sweat. But it's actually not true. Cats and dogs do sweat. It's just that they sweat through their paws. And on a hot summer day, if you have a cat or a dog, you can touch it and you can actually feel it. You can feel the sweat and the moisture coming out of their paws. And you can see it on the ground if they're walking in your apartment if you have a wood floor as well. The thing about this is that when we sweat, we lose electrolytes. So if we're running for a prolonged period of time in the hot sun, then yes, drinking electrolytes will help us. But the article is saying that only athletes can benefit from them. That's where I take issue with this. I take issue because it assumes that you, the reader, a human, fully adapted to run for hours on the savannah chasing prey, are not an athlete. Could the issue be that you, the reader, the average American or English-speaking person from a westernized country, as that's most of my audience, are not exercising as much as you should be for optimal health? The article targets electrolytes as if they are some problem that needs to be solved, and the author or publisher is your unsung hero coming to inform you not to buy any electrolyte drinks because they're a waste of money and you don't need them. When in actuality, they could have targeted something like the sugar in sports drinks, or they could have targeted the bigger elephant in the room, no pun intended, a chronic lack of exercise in Western countries, or westernized countries, modernized countries. Instead, they basically made an article about nothing that comes to the conclusion that only athletes and people who have rare illnesses will benefit from electrolyte drinks. So make from this whatever you will, and let me know your opinion on this in the comments below. Is it that we don't need electrolyte drinks? Or could the problem be that most of us are not exercising as much as we should be? Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Maybe Theory, signing out.